Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. The time for hiding is over. The time for blood has begun. In our last episode, Jian Wushuang emerged from his secret cultivation, having fully merged with the ancient artifact. He is no longer the disciple the Azure Heaven Domain remembers. He is a force of nature fueled by vengeance. Today, the reckoning begins. Chapters 106 through 110 follow Wushuang as he returns to the sect. But he isn't there to report to his elders, he's there to cross names off his list. Starting with the disciples and mentors who conspired against him, Wushuang begins a cold, systematic cleanup. One by one, the traitors realize that the weak newcomer they bullied has returned as their judge, jury, and executioner. The hunt has moved into the light. Chapter 106 starts now. Chapter 106, A Gathering of Experts. Endless Mountain Range. The number of warriors in the Endless Mountain Range increased after the discovery of the Black Water Lotus was spread. Although the Endless Mountain Range was filled with countless connected mountains, there were still some lakes and streams. The Quiet Moon Lake was a normal lake in the Endless Mountain Range. However, with the appearance of the Black Water Lotus, Quiet Moon Lake was doomed to be turbulent. Near Quiet Moon Lake, there were huge crowds of people talking with each other in twos and threes. It was like a jamboree. So many people. Neither Jian Wushuang, a man in the initial Gold Core realm, nor Su Ru, who was in the profound Gold Core realm, were noteworthy in this crowd. After all, the warriors preparing to grab the Black Water Lotus seed were almost in the Gold Core realm. Among them, experts in the exceptional Gold Core realm were more than a few. Naturally, nobody would pay attention to Jian Wushuang and Su Ru, but they were happy to be able to walk around leisurely, even casually picking an empty spot to sit down. Very few people have comprehended a sense of the water drop among these people. Most of them were employed to fight for that Black Water Lotus seed. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Like in Golden Dragon Palace, Golden Dragon guards could be hired as long as you paid a high enough price to issue tasks. Some people with low strength but a good background would employ experts, offering them a high fee to fight for the Black Water Lotus seed. Hundreds of experts are here and more are coming. I guess that there will be a violent and tragic fight when the Black Water Lotus appears, Su Ru said, then glanced at the center of Quiet Moon Lake. A dark lotus could be seen resting there. It was the Black Water Lotus that was particularly important to her. Don't worry. Judging by its appearance, I expect that the Black Water Lotus will finish blooming in 2 or 3 days, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. At this moment. Hey, brats. A harsh voice suddenly sounded out as a red-haired muscleman came over and said in a low voice, "This spot belongs to us now. You can get lost." Why? Some of the people were instantly disgruntled. Jian Wushuang and Su Ru also looked at them because they were sitting in that area too. "If you don't do what I said, I will kill you." The red-haired muscleman stared at those disgruntled people. At the same time, following behind the red-haired muscleman, a line of people arrived. Their leader was a well-groomed man who held a fan. "Have you found the spot?" The voice of this well-groomed man was cold and his expression plainly showed a vestige of arrogance. Seeing this well-groomed man, those disgruntled people in the area were shocked. "He is Master Mu Bai." "Yes. It is Ling Mu Bai, ranked 96th on the Earthly Dragon list." "People from the Earthly Dragon list are here as well." Being on the Earthly Dragon list was what all warriors in the Gold Core realm desired the most. Ranking on the Earthly Dragon list was the dream of numerous people. Chenzong dynasty was vast and warriors of the Gold Core realm were countless. However, merely 100 people were qualified to rank on the Earthly Dragon list. Naturally, all of them were true experts, and each one was famous. Now a warrior on the Earthly Dragon list had arrived. This naturally caused a bit of a stir. Since you recognize he is Master Mu Bai, get lost." That red-haired muscleman shouted brutally. Immediately, those people who were previously malcontent with the red-haired muscleman got up and left cautiously. "Let's go too," Jian Wushuang said, then he and Su Ru both left the area. Of course, Jian Wushuang made a concession not because he was afraid of Ling Mu Bai. He just felt it was unnecessary to breed enmity with him. Though Ling Mubai appears mild and gentle, he is actually very ferocious, Suru couldn't help saying. In this fight for the Black Water Lotus Seed, the arriving experts on the Earthly Dragon list are absolutely not only Ling Mubai. However, when the fighting begins, those experts will be seen as the main adversaries by others because of their fame. But we are different from them, Jian Wushuang said and smiled. Neither of us are known to the public. Our realm is ordinary, without anything that stands out. Nobody knows how strong we are. Therefore, we will take advantage of that when the real fighting for the Black Water Lotus begins. Yeah. Suru nodded. She also understood. Time was fleeting and 3 days passed quickly. During these 3 days, a cascade of warriors in the Gold Core realm had arrived at Quiet Moon Lake, one after the other. Now, the number of warriors by Quiet Moon Lake was more than 10,000. Among those people, there were a lot of famous experts. Not to mention the experts with great strength and reputation in Qianzhong dynasty. Just the people from the Earthly Dragon list counted 6. These 6 experts ranking on the Earthly Dragon list was extremely outstanding compared to everyone else. Look! His Fire Lion, ranked 63rd on the Earthly Dragon list. Blood Knife Tu Xin. He's also here. Look! That's Master Mubai, he's mild and gentle as usual. She's Ziyang, that crazy woman, even she is here. In the crowd, profusions of warriors were discussing amongst themselves, and they mostly focused on the experts on the Earthly Dragon list. Fire Lion, Tu Xin, Ziyang, and Ling Mubai are all less than rank 60 on the Earthly Dragon list. They are not the real experts. Jian Wushuang talked with Suru casually. On the Earthly Dragon list, higher ranking meant more strength. Of the 6 present Earthly Dragon listed experts, only 2 could actually be a serious threat to Jian Wushuang. The first one was a purple-robed man carrying a 2-section-long spear on his back. Although he was in his 20s at the most, his dark eyes were incomparably chilly and the atmosphere around him was terrifying. Magic Spear Jiu Dao. He ranked 39th on the Earthly Dragon list. It was said that Jiu Dao was an orphan who grew up in a bandit camp. A heart full of killing was formed because of his rough experiences when he was young. He comprehended a sense of the water drop, so the Black Water Lotus Seed was highly useful to him. And the other one was a very carefree, cyan-robed, middle-aged man. The cyan-robed man wore a casual garment and was currently relaxing the trunk of a big tree, holding a flagon while drinking in a carefree manner with a red face. Xiao Mang had become famous 10 years ago. At that time he was already on the Earthly Dragon list. But now, 10 years later, he was ranked 22 road on the Earthly Dragon list. He ranked the highest among the 6 present experts on the Earthly Dragon list. Meanwhile, Xiao Mang didn't comprehend essence of the water drop. He was not invited to help fight for the Black Water Lotus Seed by anyone here, so he was by himself. However, he had come. Chapter 107. Fighting someone on the Earthly Dragon list. Magic Spear Jiu Dao and Xiao Mang, the 39th and 22nd ranked experts on the Earthly Dragon list, are much stronger than the other ranked warriors here. Especially the latter. Jian Wushuang's dark eyes couldn't help turning towards at the carefree middle-aged man who was relaxing on a branch. Although he seemed carefree, the cyan-robed man brought Jian Wushuang greatest pressure out of everyone there. Just one single Black Water Lotus attracted so many experts. It's completely unimaginable. There are even so many Earthly Dragon list experts. We are in big trouble, Suru commented with a stern look on her face. There is trouble, but it doesn't mean we have no chance, said Jian Wushuang. Third brother, based on your current power, can you compete against these Earthly Dragon list experts? Asked Suru. Suru knew Jian Wushuang was very powerful. His gold core aura was far above the profound gold core realm, and his comprehension of sword essence allowed him to pass the 11th level of the Dragon Gate. Jian Wushuang's actual power should be much stronger than a warrior in the exceptional gold core realm. But, how strong was he really? Suru had no idea. With the exception of Xiao Mang, I am sure I can defeat the others one-on-one, Jian Wushuang answered. Suru was stunned for a second. To be honest, after breaking through to the gold core realm, I understand a little about my strength, but I can't judge exactly how strong I am. After all, I've never fought against an earthly dragon list expert. Jian Wushuang smiled, and then asked, how about you? As for me, if I fight with my full power, I can barely beat one of them. I mean one who is ranked above 60th. I am too much weaker than Jiu Dao and Xiao Mang, said Su Ru. Oh. Jian Wushuang was really surprised. Of course, Su Ru just reached the profound gold core realm, and her comprehension of essences was only enough to pass the 7th level of the Dragon Gate. This level of strength could barely compete against an average person in the exceptional gold core realm. Yet, Su Ru dared to say that she could barely fight against an earthly dragon list expert? My fourth sister really has a lot of secrets. Jian Wushuang sighed to himself. Since a long time ago, he realized that Su Ru had a big secret. After all, she was only 15 years old. A 15-year-old girl at the profound gold core realm. How marvelous! How could a common person attain that? On top of that, Su Ru, who understood essence of the water drop, was only interested in the black water lotus itself rather than its seeds. It was quite strange. Now, Su Ru dared to say that she could barely fight against an earthly dragon list expert? All in all, Su Ru appeared extremely different. Of course, although Jian Wushuang knew that Su Ru had some secrets, he did not intend to ask about them. Everyone had their secrets. Su Ru had some, so did he. Suddenly, at that moment, a disturbance took place near Quiet Moon Lake. Both Jian Wushuang and Yu Ru looked in that direction. What they saw was a thickly built red-robed old man slowly walked toward Lord Ling Mubai. I am Ding Mo. I've heard of Master Mubai's name long ago. How lucky to meet you today. I specifically came here to challenge you. This red-robed old man's sonorous and resonant voice immediately spread around the whole Quiet Moon Lake. Someone wants to challenge Ling Mubai. Ha ha, finally someone puts forward a challenge. Who's Ding Mo? Never heard of him. I know about Ding Mo. I have heard of him. He's a famous three-clawed golden dragon guard. He fiercely fought against 3 people in the exceptional gold core realm at the same time, and even managed to kill them all in the end. All the warriors near Quiet Moon Lake became excited. In fact, since these earthly dragon list experts turned up by Quiet Moon Lake, many people had assumed that someone would challenge them. Being on the earthly dragon list could make one famous around the world. This was a gold core warrior's dream. Many confident gold core warriors were eager to challenge the earthly dragon list experts. However, the number of these experts was limited, so it was hard to meet them normally. However, the fight for the black water lotus seeds had attracted at least 6 earthly dragon list experts. The gold core warriors who were eager to enter the earthly dragon list, and confident about their strength, would never miss such a great opportunity. Now, the warrior named Ding Mo appeared. Being challenged in front of so many people, Lord Ling Mubai's gentle face immediately became cold. Ding Mo, where did a nobody like you come from? I've never heard of you. Ling Mubai scratched his own ear. After today's fight, you will know about me. Not only you, but everyone in the whole Qianzong dynasty will know my name. I will be on the earthly dragon list and become famous around the world, by using your name as a stepping stone, said the red-robed old man in a low voice. Hearing these words, the audience burst into an uproar. Get on the earthly dragon list using my name as a stepping stone? How arrogant! Aren't you afraid such big words crush your tongue? Ling Mubai's complexion turned colder. Ha ha, there is no other way. There are at least 6 earthly dragon list experts here, and your rank is the lowest. If I don't challenge you, who should I begin with? Ding Mo asked while grinning. You must want to die. Now, Ling Mubai was infuriated. With a low voice shout, his body suddenly rushed out. Perfect. Ding Mo burst into a laughter. His ignitus-gloved palm suddenly clenched and became a fist. A gust of strong spiritual power gathered into the center of his palm. Like a burning drill, the red fist burst forward. The fist instantly crashed into the cold blade light that suddenly appeared in front its owner. Bang! A huge sound echoed as 2 terrible forces exploded at the same time. At that moment, the spiritual power produced by 2 experts formed into gusts of wind, wildly sweeping in all directions. Ripples appeared in the surrounding air. The great number of primordial warriors standing around were also engulfed, some of whom closed their eyes immediately. A few relatively weaker warriors even had trouble standing straight in the face of this gust of wind. Ling Mubai's complexion changed a little. Evidently, he never thought that the man in front of him, whom he had never heard of, could bear one of his slashes head-on. What's more, his opponent showed no sign of being suppressed. Bang! A sharp snap was heard from the air. It was Ding Mo's fierce palm. Ling Mubai also thrust out ferociously. As the two palms touched each other, the violent spiritual power wildly exploded again. "Ha ha, Ling Mubai, let's fight with our full strength," said Ding Mo, completely releasing his power. At that moment, his whole body seemed to have been transformed into an ancient ferocious beast, with two arms like sturdy hooves. An immense force could be felt from the terrifying and continuous attacks. Every time his fists passed by, the area would tremble with a deafening wind-breaking noise. Enormous power soared to the sky with an overwhelming aura. As for Ling Mubai, his finger looked like a knife, with dazzling blade light bursting out continuously. Every blade flash surged with an amazing power and essence of the water drop. Their fierce fight turned white-hot in an instant. By Quiet Moon Lake, numerous gold core warriors were spectating with full attention. Chapter 108. The Blackwater Lotus Blooms. Awesome! Is that the strength of an expert on the earthly dragon list? Too strong. Even though I am in the exceptional gold core realm, when facing off with Ling Mubai, I wouldn't be able to resist a single attack from his palm. Ding Mo is awesome as well. His fists were very erratic, but he was even stronger than Ling Mubai in terms of momentum. The warriors of the gold core realm looked attentively at them, full of excitement and boiling blood. Standing side by side at a corner of Quiet Moon Lake, Jian Wushuang and Su Ru also witnessed the fierce battle. Is this the strength of an expert on the earthly dragon list? Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Good. His cultivation has reached the peak of exceptional gold core realm. Moreover, I think he could pass through the 8th level of the Dragon Gate with his comprehension. Ling Mubai is at the bottom of the earthly dragon list, ranking 96th. Therefore, his strength isn't too terrifying. The higher ranked on the list, the stronger they are. Not surprisingly, warriors out the top 50 of the earthly dragon list could easily pass through the 9th level of the Dragon Gate with their comprehension, Su Ru said. Agreed. Jian Wushuang nodded. Then he sighed secretly and said, "It seems that Ding Mo is strong enough to be listed on the earthly dragon list since he has fought with Ling Mubai head-on. Though there are only 6 experts of the earthly dragon list here, the number of warriors who are strong enough to enter the list is much more than 6. At the moment, the battle between Ling Mubai and Ding Mo was drawing to a close. It was hard to tell which one was stronger in the fierce battle. Finally, Ling Mubai won by a narrow margin. Although he won, he squeaked through it. Ding Mo, who could almost be matched with Ling Mubai, is also very awesome. That was close. Ling Mubai nearly lost. Ding Mo is strong enough to enter the earthly dragon list. After the battle, everyone present would remember the name of Ding Mo. But not long after that. Fire Lion, do you dare to fight with me? Tu Xin, you are named Bloodsaber. So am I. Since we met, surely we should have a battle and see who is stronger. Ziyang, right? You are the only woman among the 6 experts of the earthly dragon list. I have no choice but to challenge you. Since that, many people challenged those 6 experts of the earthly dragon list. Apparently, the challengers were also very strong. In fact, many of the people present were not interested in the Blackwater Lotus Seed at all. They came here especially for challenging the experts of the earthly dragon list or watching their battles. Soon, many exciting battles had started. Third brother, there are many experts on the earthly dragon list. Would you like to challenge one? If you defeated one face-to-face, your name will be famous throughout the world, Su Ru said. I don't need to. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, when the fight for the Blackwater Lotus starts, I will have to face them. At that time I'll have a chance to defeat them. Have you noticed that out of the many challengers, none challenged Jiu Dao and Xiao Mang? Instead, Ling Mubai was challenged the most, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. I noticed. But it's normal. He ranks the lowest among them. Surely he is the weakest target, Suru said coldly. Jian Wushuang could not help laughing. The sun was setting. Soon it was dusk. Near Quiet Moon Lake, it was still bustling with challenges and battles were still going. However, at that moment, in the center of Quiet Moon Lake, the budding black water lotus started to bloom. All the black petals expanded. In seconds, that black water lotus burst into full bloom, with a refreshing aroma permeating the air. Many warriors of the Gold Core realm at Quiet Moon Lake smelt it. Suddenly, shua! Everyone looked towards the black water lotus. The black water lotus was in full bloom. At the very center of the flower laid 7 black water lotus seeds. As soon as they saw them, many warriors in the Gold Core realm were filled with burning desire. The black water lotus had bloomed. So did the black water lotus seeds. There were even 7 seeds. Grab them. Go. Go, go, go. Ha ha. The party has started. Many low voices from Gold Core warriors were raised, at the same time, as they all quickly rushed towards the black water lotus at the center of Quiet Moon Lake without hesitation. Fourth sister, go. Jian Wushuang's eyes burst out dazzling light, too. Immediately, both he and Suru rushed towards the black water lotus. In only a moment, many of the warriors gathered around Quiet Moon Lake had rushed in. Pia! 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 The soles of their feet splashed across the top of the water. Warriors of primordial gold core couldn't void walk yet like those supreme experts in the yin-yang void realm. But they could walk on the surface of the water. Soon, many experts had gathered there. From afar, they looked like hornets. The experts on the earthly dragon list rushed in front, including Jiu Dao, Fire Lion, Butcher, and the rest. The black water lotus seed is useful for me in comprehending essence of the water drop. 7 seeds in total, I must get at least 3. Magic Spear Jiu Dao had a determined look in his eyes, and he was burning with killing intent. But at that moment, a figure, flickering like a ghost, rushed ahead of Jiu Dao, Fire Lion, and others towards the black water lotus. What? So fast? It's him. The expert ranked 79th on the earthly dragon list, Celestial Fox He Ling. Many warriors of the Gold Core realm instantly recognized him. It seemed there were only 6 experts on the earthly dragon list. However, they didn't notice that Celestial Fox He Ling was hiding in the dark. The biggest advantage He Ling had was his incredible speed. Once he displayed his power, he was much faster than Jiu Dao. It should be known that Jiu Dao ranked 39th on the earthly dragon list. Of course, fast speed didn't mean that he could easily get the black water lotus seeds. Bastard! You want the black water lotus seed? No way! Jiu Dao shouted, then he fiercely brandished the blood-red spear in his hands. At once the spear pierced through the air and its sharp head appeared behind He Ling. Not just Jiu Dao, but all warriors of the Gold Core realm, who were also rushing towards the black water lotus seeds, instantly attacked when they saw him closing in on the black water lotus. Kill him! Attack! Attack! Keep him away from the black water lotus. Being experts in the Gold Core realm, they could easily use their spiritual power to attack He Ling from a long distance. A great number of attacks immediately surged out. An innumerable amount of attacks swept towards He Ling. Chapter 109, Heated Battle. Damn it! He Ling's countenance greatly changed. He hastily retreated, giving up the black water lotus. A large number of horrible attacks lost their target, instantly bombarding the surface of the lake. Boom! The whole Quiet Moon Lake was abruptly shaken. The massive lake water lifted up like a tsunami, generating a water curtain more than several meters tall. The water curtain kept rising, which blocked everyone's vision. Get in. Go. A lot of Gold Core warriors with great strength directly rushed into the water curtain without any hesitation, while those Gold Core warriors with weaker strength wavered because they couldn't see the black water lotus through the huge water curtain. Hurry up. Attack. Attack. Even if you can't see anyone, just attack. regardless of whether people are hit or not. Although a great many gold core warriors didn't rush into the water curtain, they were busy attacking toward the water curtain. All of the attacks were definitely launched at random without any targets. They didn't know whether it would hit someone or not. But they didn't care either way. If they could not have it, then they would not let those experts in water curtain have it either. They didn't even worry about whether or not they would destroy the black water lotus. After all, the 7 seeds were the most valuable. The black water lotus itself was useless. Besides, black water lotus seeds was less likely to be hit because of their small size. Even if the black water lotus was totally destroyed in the attack, it was unimportant. Almost 100 experts rushed into the water curtain, including Jian Wushuang and Su Ru. They all approached the black water lotus at their fastest speed. Therefore, there were 6 people closing in on the black water lotus. Respectively, they were Magic Spear Jiu Dao, Ling Mubai, Butcher, Zi Yang, Jian Wushuang, and Su Ru. Jiu Dao stared at the 7 black water lotus seeds with great intensity. The black water lotus seeds belong to me, Jiu Dao directly growled. Jiu Dao, you are strong. But if you think you can keep all 7 black water lotus seeds by yourself, you're really looking down on us, the coquettish and gracious lady said in a cold tone. How dare you bastards compete with me? Get out! Jiu Dao thundered. The blood-red spear in his hand released a great amount of power as it was instantly thrust out. The blood-red spear flickered out like a viper sticking out its tongue. Swoosh! 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 He instantly pierced 5 times at the same time, piercing towards the 5 people near him. What's more, he did it at an amazingly fast speed. When seeing the bloody spear shadow piercing toward them, Ling Mubai, Butcher, and Zi Yang immediately blocked it without any hesitation. However, after the power of the bloody spear shadow exploded, their expressions changed color and they instantly retreated several steps. The blood-red spear also pierced toward Jian Wushuang and Su Ru. This move, Jian Wushuang suddenly felt shocked and said, it would be enough to pass the 9th level of the Dragon Gate. At that moment, Jian Wushuang immediately became serious, wielding his triple-kill sword with powerful sword essence of earth. Clang! When the sword edge clashed with the blood-red spear, Jian Wushuang used his power to directly knock back the blood-red spear. Once the long spear was knocked back, Jiu Dao's offensive disintegrated. He was unable to pierce toward Su Ru with the 5th move. Heh! Jiu Dao raised his head, looking at Jian Wushuang in surprise. Although it was not his strongest strike, the blood-red spear was strong enough to hold back 3 experts of the earthly dragon list like Ling Mubai. However, this obscure person in the initial gold core realm withstood it. Not only did Jian Wushuang succeed in withstanding it, he instantly pierced toward Jiu Dao's throat with the flash of a cold sword light. It was so fast that Jiu Dao's face couldn't help changing color. He immediately stepped back. Jiu Dao was forced back by Jian Wushuang, while Ling Mubai and other 2 men were forced back by Jiu Dao. Now, Jian Wushuang felt delighted because he and Su Ru were the closest to Black Water Lotus. However, before he could pick up the Black Water Lotus, he found that a massive attack was heading towards them. Shit! After noticing it, Jian Wushuang's face changed color. All these attacks, launched by warriors in the gold core realm who were staying outside the water curtain, were driftless and random. However, the direction of all attacks pointed to where the Black Water Lotus was. Under normal circumstance, Jian Wushuang could easily avoid those attacks. But right now, he could not retreat. He knew that the Black Water Lotus was behind him. In order to get the Black Lotus seeds, those ordinary warriors could destroy Black Lotus because they did not care about the Lotus itself. But Jian Wushuang could not let it happen. What Su Ru wanted was Black Water Lotus itself. 4th sister, take the Black Water Lotus and leave this to me, Jian Wushuang said with a growl. Okay, Su Ru replied without hesitation. She knew that she wasn't allowed to hesitate in this situation. Seeing the massive attack heading towards them, a sharp light quickly flashed through Jian Wushuang's eyes. Then, a powerful sword essence of earth was released. Reincarnation sword skill. Swoosh! Sword shadows slashed out in rapid succession. When massive attacks were about to land. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. A succession of impacts sounded out with hardly any pause. Although every attack wasn't very strong, the number of attacks was too great. Jian Wushuang had to make perfect use of the reincarnation sword skill, trying his best to withstand them. Fortunately, he had perfect control of the reincarnation sword skill. When wielding this sword skill, he created a rainbow sword flash which seemed to be a barrier of sword essence to keep out of all the attacks. Finally, Jian Wushuang was merely forced to step back several meters by the impact force. Well, those people can't clearly see what is in the water curtain. They are just randomly attacking, so I can withstand them. Otherwise. Jian Wushuang rejoiced and looked toward Su Ru. At that time, Su Ru had been reaching out to pick up the black water lotus. Stop! Jiu Dao thundered with rage in his eyes. Leave the black lotus seeds. Ling Mubai, Tu Xin, Zi Yang, and many other experts in the gold core realm were very frightened and angry. Although they were raging, they couldn't stop Su Ru from such a long distance. Su Ru was going to successfully pluck the black water lotus. Suddenly, a cold sword light directly chopped toward Su Ru. The blade flash was ice-cold and dazzling, with overwhelming power. Where it passed, there was nothing. When the ice-cold blade flash appeared, many experts in the water curtain greatly changed color and became panicky. Even experts of the earthly dragon list like Jiu Dao and Ling Mubai were flustered and filled with dread. Their pupils suddenly shrunk while looking at the incoming blade light. Chapter 110. Sword Shadows and Blade Lights Collide. This blade move. Su Ru had almost had the black water lotus when she suddenly noticed the dazzling cold blade. It seemed it could split the heaven and the earth, and it was slashing directly toward her. This blade light made everyone shiver. Su Ru's expression paled immediately. At the same time, she judged that the blade was aiming for her arm. If she continued reaching for the black water lotus, her entire arm would be chopped off. Her armor, the black water lotus, Su Ru picked the former without hesitation. She retracted her hand as she retreated rapidly. Just as she drew back her hand, the gleaming cold blade light swept past where her arm had been. Swoosh! Chopping through the air, the blade light gradually faded away. However, a huge crack, dozens of meters long and half a meter wide, emerged across the surface of Quiet Moon Lake. It looked as if the lake had been split in half. Then, the water on both sides of the crack began flooding into the center. Whoosh! A nimble and unrestrained figure in cyan appeared abruptly and picked up the desired black water lotus with a simple stretch of his hand. Only later did people look at his gently smiling face. The whole Quiet Moon Lake turned still immediately. The high-rise water curtain had descended, and now all the people around Quiet Moon Lake could see the figure in cyan holding the black water lotus. Meanwhile, they also saw the huge crack that nearly tore the lake in two. Everyone looked awed at that moment. Fourth sister, are you all right? Jian Wushuang came to Su Ru. I'm fine, Su Ru shook her head, but her face stiffened. Is that him? Jian Wushuang looked at him, too. The unrestrained man in cyan was the top expert he had paid so much attention to, Xiao Mang. Xiao Mang ranked 22nd on the earthly dragon list. Much higher than Jiu Dao. There was no doubt his strength was more extraordinary. No one there, including Jiu Dao, Ling Mubai, and the other experts on earthly dragon list, was confident enough to take on that glorious, yet extremely dreadful, blade move. Not without getting hurt anyway. Xiao Mang, Jiu Dao gazed at Xiao Mang, and said with a grim face, "You've never comprehended essence of the water drop, and someone like you would never help others fight for the black water lotus. So the 7 black water lotus seeds should mean nothing to you." You are right, Xiao Mang lifted his head a bit and glanced at Jiu Dao, saying with a smile, "The 7 black lotus seeds do indeed mean nothing to me, so." As he spoke, Xiao Mang reached out and picked off the 7 seeds in the center of the lotus, then released his grip in front of the astonished crowd. The 7 black lotus seeds dropped into the lake down below. All the gold core warriors there were speechless. Getting the black water lotus using overpowering strength, then throwing away the most precious part, the lotus seeds, into the water? Xiao Mang obviously had no interest in the 7 seeds. The seeds are of no use to me, but I can benefit a lot from the black water lotus. So I'll be taking the lotus. Anyone got a problem? Xiao Mang said, as he looking around. Hearing what Xiao Mang said, everyone was elated. He only wants the lotus instead of the seeds. Jiu Dao, Ling Mu Bai, and other experts on the earthly dragon list were surprised. The seeds of the black water lotus were helpful for comprehending essence of the water drop, but the flower itself could hardly be put to use. So the flower could not attract any of the gold core warriors there. Xiao Mang, you may leave now, since you have the black water lotus, Jiu Dao said bluntly. Right, you can leave. We will not stop you, said Ling Mu Bai and other experts on earthly dragon list. Xiao Mang nodded, and turned around slowly under everyone's gaze, but suddenly, whoosh, whoosh, 2 figures blocked his way. They were Jian Wushuang and Su Ru. Jian Wushuang stared at Xiao Mang and spoke to him, half smiling. However, his calm and cold words made the atmosphere tense up again. Sorry, I also have no interest in the seeds, but I have to take the black water lotus. What Jian Wushuang said startled everyone around Quiet Moon Lake. What's that boy trying to do? Who is he? How dare he stop Xiao Mang? Someone in the initial gold core realm dares to stop Xiao Mang? And he even said he wanted the black water lotus too? Does he want to die? A majority of the gold core warriors there thought Jian Wushuang was insane, while those who had fought with Jian Wushuang in the water curtain were wearing a strange expression. This boy. Jiu Dao frowned and took a look at Jian Wushuang, whom he had just encountered. Although Jian Wushuang was just in the initial gold core realm, his strength was way beyond his realm. Jian Wushuang was calm, no matter how people stared at him. He didn't know why Xiao Mang also wanted the black water lotus, but he knew he had to win it back for Su Ru. Initial gold core realm. Xiao Mang raised his head and took a look at Jian Wushuang without saying anything, but he suddenly unsheathed the saber on his back. Swoosh! Blade light burst out again, still cold and dazzling. The overwhelming blade light slashed forward with irresistible force. Everybody stared at the blade light in astonishment. It was this blade flash that had nearly split the whole Quiet Moon Lake in half. What a dreadful blade light! Even Jiu Dao, Ling Mu Bai, and other experts could not help feeling frightened the moment they saw it. While the blade light slashed towards him, Jian Wushuang still looked calm as ever. But, in the next second, he drew his sword out from the sheath. Supreme Gold Core, a power that was 100 times stronger than the initial Gold Core realm, exploded in an instant formless sword wave, 10th move. Boom! The air was instantly split wherever that terrifying sword shadow directly passed. Right away, all the gold core warriors around felt like a majestic huge mountain was pressing down on them from the sword, and the heavy load made them unable to breathe. The heaven and the earth was overshadowed by the majestic sword shadow. The sword shadow slashed forward at an incredible speed, splitting the water in the lake as it passed. Swoosh! Swoosh! In a blink of an eye, 2 enormous waves were lifted on both sides of the sword shadow. The next moment, the mighty sword shadow crashed with the cold shining blade light. It seemed like 2 different worlds collided. The heavens split and the earth cracked. And with that final, lethal strike, we conclude Chapter 110. Wushuang has torn through the lower ranks of the conspiracy, leaving the sect in a state of absolute shock and terror. He hasn't just won these battles, he has sent a message to the high-ranking elders who orchestrated the plot from the shadows. No one is safe. But the big fish are now onto him. The top-tier elders of the Azure Heaven Domain are mobilizing, and Wushuang is about to face a power level that even his new artifact will struggle to match. Join us next time for chapters 111 through 115, as the sect masters finally step onto the battlefield and Wushuang is forced to decide just how much he is willing to sacrifice for his revenge. Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you enjoyed seeing the traitors get what they deserved, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for the next update.